Hi lovelies, so welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Building this channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos and leave commentaries and also educate you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. All right, lovelies, lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where this pan-colored woman, decided to ask this question. She wanted to ask about why is it that we critique, white men compared to white women, and a lot of people, answered her. I'm just gonna roll her stage as well as some of other people I was able to, put up their videos here. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section and let's dive into it.
So I understand why we critique white women so much for upholding their own oppression. Because we do. But why do we critique white women more than we critique white men? Could it be sexism?
Y'all come out the womb with like a doctorate in emotional manipulation when it comes to BIPOC. You'll do everything in your power to create the illusion of a safe space, screw us over, and then blame us and turn everybody against us. Y'all's men's, more or less, they're gonna be upfront with you, except for the queer ones who've adopted some of y'all's tactics. Oh, and if you hang around y'all's men's for just a little bit of time, I'm talking like a few days, they'll show you who they are. With you might have to wait years to see that you've been screwed over. Yeah.
Why?
Fair question. I have an answer. Because white women don't only participate in their own oppression, they perpetuate it. If white women wanted to, they could collectively end their own oppression and the oppression of so many other people. But they choose not to. For their own comfort and their own place in the hierarchy of whiteness. Because who raises those white men? Who raises them? White women could end this, but they won't.
I think to answer this question, first we have to acknowledge that white women and white men are both dangerous to people of color, just in different ways. White men are going to be more outwardly violent than white women, clearly. And clearly this isn't coming for white women or white men, period. But white women have caused great pain to people of color. Look at Emmett Till. Based off a false accusation from a white woman. Somebody commented this, but what happened in Tulsa started off with a false accusation from a white woman. It caused a massacre and destruction of the Black Wall Street. Single-handedly, a white woman did that. White women have a history of lying and perpetuating these systems that white men upheld while in power. Look at the ERA, like I mentioned. A white woman and a group of white women single-handedly took down an equal rights amendment that could help all women, including women of color, and they didn't want that. White women were some of the hardest to fight against civil rights because simply they could, knowing that white men would protect them. I don't know.
I really appreciate this creator for making this video for a lot of different reasons, and acknowledging how I've been feeling for quite some time as someone who escaped a toxic workplace that was due to bullying by white women in corporate America. And ironically enough, one of the best bosses I've ever had in my life was a white man in corporate America. I've had great white women too, but more often than not really. With that said, I've been doing a lot of thinking as to why I think white men and black women, not only in dating, make great couples, but also with white men being their leader, their boss, their team lead. Why it's not as toxic as white women. And hear me out, but I think it's because white men just simply know their place in society is always going to be number one. They know that they're always going to get the job over anyone else. They know that they're always going to be seen as the ideal candidate, the ideal working person, no matter what. And I've been thinking that simply the existence of a black woman on their team, even if she's a gunner, even if she's going after everything, is never gonna threaten him. Like, he's non-threatened, meaning that he can give away every resource from mentorship to sponsorship to accolades, and he's still gonna be ahead of her, which is why he's able to give those things without feeling like it's ever gonna take away from him. And specifically, I think white women, or we've also, black women have had horror stories with other black women, is that it feels like the person who is our leader, who's supposed to uplift us and give us access and mentorship and sponsorship, again, when they're doing it, I feel like they feel like it's taking away from their career or their essence. So they hold those opportunities back. They hold the praise back. They hold the promotions back. They hold the role changes back because they want it for themselves. And I feel like white men don't do that because they don't have to do it, because they will always get it. Even if they give that one opportunity to the next black girl, they know that their next opportunity is going to be equal and likely better just because of their position in society. And I think we should really explore this a little bit more about who we're working for and what they're going to be able to offer us. Because for me right now, as someone who is transitioning careers, I'm specifically looking for a team lead or a mentor who's going to be able to open up doors for me. And if that's not something that you can do, I don't really want to work for you.
I think a lot of white people are having a hard time with the fact that white people's actions and stereotypes about white people that are negative are starting to become popular and become critiqued and become talked about. And this really upsets people. And the message that I have for those people is that you don't have to be that kind of white person. If you don't like my skinny white woman video about how cults use skinny white women to whitewash their bad behavior, you don't have to be that person in an organization. The thing is, you can't actually stop strangers from applying negative stereotypes to you. And if you don't yet know what that feels like, ask any black or brown person in America and they can tell you. So, sorry, not sorry. I'm still going to keep talking about negative things that white people do and the stereotypes that we need to fix.
I've debated talking about this, but I am on a roll with talking about political things on my page because for some reason, TikTok keeps wanting to ban all of my videos. And at this point, I'm just kind of try it. I'll just keep appealing. It's fine. So we're just going to steamroll through and we're going to keep talking about some uncomfortable topics. I mean, they're not uncomfortable for me, but I've also done a lot of research and education, and I have a very open mind, heart, soul to things, and I love learning about history and I love learning about other people. But here's the thing. I love learning about other people's experiences, and that way I can learn more about them and how I can better be of a better friend, a better person. I can do better by learning from their experiences. So when we were all talking about bear versus man, all of the women across the entire world came together and argued this topic. And men were upset. A lot of men were upset because why would we choose a bear versus a man to be alone with in the woods? Well, it's because X, Y, and Z. We all gave examples. We all gave our stories. We all commented and stitched and all of that about this topic. And essentially what we told men is, well, you will never understand the fear that we have of men because you've never had to experience what it feels like to be taken advantage of, to be raped, to be essayed, to be manipulated, and constantly berated by men. We all came together, banded together, and we argued that fact that we were like, you can sit here and comment all you want, but you will never know because you're talking and arguing about a topic that you have never experienced because you're a man. So a creator that I just started following, White Woman Whisperer, she posed the question that took the conversation further, and it said, if a black woman had to choose between being alone in a conference room with a white man or a white woman, who would she choose? And a lot of black women came forward and it explained their answer. And a lot of their answers were that they would choose to be alone in a room with a white man. And now, all of the comments, the stitches, all of that have been of white women arguing, why would you even bring that topic up? Because it's a genuine question for Black women. And all of the Black women coming forward with their experiences are now having to debate with a white woman on an experience that a white woman can never fully understand because she's white. Because her white privilege has protected her whole life. And so white women, this is for you. You guys are talking on a topic and saying that the topic in and of itself is racist, but it's not. What you're saying and the comments that you're saying to the question actually are racist. And here's the thing. With white privilege comes white fragility, and you're showing it with your comments and your arguing on true experiences that Black women have had. And if you don't believe in white privilege, then I'm sorry, you have a lot of education to do on yourself. But just go ahead and read the book White Fragility, Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism. Have you ever asked yourself that? Have you ever sat there and asked yourself, why is it so hard to talk about race with somebody of color? Why is that? Is it because of your white fragility and because you don't want to bring up a topic that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable? But here's the thing. In order to learn, in order to do better, in order to be better, you have to get into the nitty-gritty of some very uncomfortable topics. And sometimes you have to do the research and the education that might make you uncomfortable. But in order to get past that uncomfortable feeling, you have to just push through it and listen and learn. I'm going to give you another book, and this one's going to shock some of you. But I actually hope that this book does get read by more and more people because it is so educational and it is so eye-opening and it is so humbling. But the book is called They Were Her Property, White Women as Slave Owners in the American South. This one is by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers. Now, Stephanie has a few books out there that are very educational. This one I found to be just very eye-opening on what white women's role was in slavery. And believe me and you, white women had a huge part of it, had a huge part of slavery. For example, Martha Washington owned 84 slaves before she was ever even married to George Washington. Yeah, the first lady of the United States of America, she owned slaves of her own before she was ever married. Because back then, the only way that white women had status, had power, had influence was to own slaves, because that was one of the only things that they could own. And they took it very, very far. So when Martha ended up marrying George Washington, he, I think, only owned 17 slaves. I mean, not only, but, he owned 17 slaves, and she owned 84. So then they obviously combined their slaves together. But then Martha Washington was like, I want more. Because in order for her to have any power, any status, any influence, she had to own more slaves than her friends, her other white friends, her other white women friends. That was how they had power, was by owning human beings. I don't know. I'm hoping this gets through your head, but yeah, read those two. Let's start there. Also, go on to Netflix and watch Dear White People. That one's also very humbling and very, very educational because it's coming from a place of its experiences of Black people in America. And I'll say it again. In order for us as human beings to grow and learn from our mistakes, in order for us to be better, do better, we have to shut our mouths and listen to the experiences of others that we have never experienced and may never experience. But on this specific topic, you have a lot of Black women coming forward, telling you their experience, telling you why they would choose the white man over the white woman. They're literally giving you the answer, and you're arguing with them. So you're just as bad as the men in the bear versus man topic. You're doing the same damn thing that the men were doing. Is you're gaslighting these Black women. You're gaslighting them. And your white fragility is showing because the topic makes you uncomfortable. But again, in order to do better, be better, be able to be an ally, you have to get uncomfortable with this topic and dig in deep. So dig in, friends. All of us need to do better. All of us need to help bridge the gap. But in order to do that, white women, white people need to do their education and dig in deep. Get uncomfortable, babies. Get uncomfortable. Because once you're past being uncomfortable, then, just then, maybe you'll shut up and you'll listen and have empathy for the experiences that our friends of color are telling us that they have experienced being a person of color in America or in the world. Anyways, if you got this far in my video, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to tag the creator that I'm talking about because I really, for whatever reason, a bunch of people decided to go ahead and report her page. Go ahead and report my page if this makes you that mad. I don't care. But her monetization was taken off and that pissed me off. That made me mad. So I'm going to tag her. Let's maybe help her get her monetization back because, again, her page is actually very educational. It's very humbling. It's a good page. She's a good person to follow. And let's help her out.
Like, seriously, lovelies, this actually remind me of a video that went viral about the man versus the bear, and also the white woman in the conference room alone versus the white man in the conference room alone with the black woman. And you see a lot of people, a lot of black men were actually choosing to be with a white man, compared to being with a white woman. And this has nothing to do with sexism or whatever you call it. This has everything to do with the way black women or white women, actually treat black women. Okay, let's use pan-colored. The way at which pan-colored women, treat black women is something that needs to be studied. And after studying this, you have to make sure that you avoid any means that will get you, entangled with, white woman situation. A lot of, black men have come up on this app, especially on TikTok, to, share their experience of dealing with a pan-colored woman, share their experiences, and also in the corporate world, a lot of women have come up here to share on how difficult these women, makes their life. When this a bear and the man thing was actually, going on TikTok, and a lot of women were choosing to be with the bear instead of being with the man, because so many of them gave reasons which I understood with them. Being with a man, would have a lot of complications compared to that of being with a bear. And a lot of men took to TikTok, internet, choosing their own daughter to be with a bear instead of being with a man. Meanwhile, there are men. So if a man can actually choose his own daughter to be in a wood alone with a bear, then you should think about it. Like, you should think and why would he do that? And now, White One Whisperer, she's a very, oh my god, fabulous creator on TikTok, now twisted the question, and because before the woman and the white woman and the white man thing came, a lot of women was like, okay, we are all together. People were bashing men and all of that. And when she done twisted it, that was when reality now hits a lot of people. The truth decided to spew out, to come out, and black women decided to okay, I'd rather be in the conference room with a white man who wouldn't, number one, use any kind of fake thing on me. They are just straight. If they don't like you, they don't like you. A lot of people gave their, different experience with even working with a pan-colored, woman and working with a pan-colored man. Majority of black women were more comfortable and more treated, at least, better working with a pan-colored man, even if these two people, are still oppressors. Yeah, they are still oppressors, but in oppressing someone, there is something like, there is somebody that you can actually tolerate, which black women, can tolerate being in a corporate or in a workspace with a white man, a pan-colored man, compared to that of a pan-colored woman, even in the healthcare system. Like, there's this, sister that left a comment in my section, like, till today. I was just thinking about it. She talked about how it actually has to do with an incident that happened in the healthcare system. She was, fully pregnant and about to give birth, and with the labor and pains and all of that, the husband had to rush her to the hospital. Then on their way getting there, they have to like branch to get fuel for the car and all of that. And the way these pan-colored people were like shush her, trying to like as if she's, oh my god. Then on getting to the hospital, the way female nurses treated her was nothing to write home about. Female nurses who happen to be pan-colored, who happen to be women. You see, they happens to be women. Why would a woman that have probably given birth, that knows what it feels to be in labor, see a fellow woman, in such situation? But because you think that, okay, she's not, like, she don't have the color of my skin, so let me just become racist. They were just avoiding her, that she have to start praying to God to come to her aid. So this is the reason why. This is one of the reasons that black men feel, well, I won't say it's comfortable, but they will prefer to be in the company of a white man compared to that of a woman. Yeah, seriously, there are a lot of examples that was given, because these women do pretend as if, yeah, both of you are in the same boat, but the way they will disgrace you, especially in workspaces, the way they will look at you, and you are not even supposed to be in that level. Let's just take for instance of what really happened with the bush body cricket and the pan-colored woman. Okay, if you watch, they were all seated in a conference, and majority in that conference was actually men, pan-colored men. But who now, begin to talk about someone's look? Who was the person that started a conversation that led into a fight and argument and all of that? A pan-colored woman. But there are pan-colored men there. So this is also one of the examples. This has nothing to do with it. It's might for some people, but oh my goodness, majority has nothing to do with sexism. It's just the way you people treat black women. Like, they are just an object of, you are not enough. You, no matter how they put in their best, no matter how they want to do, they will still look you down like you are not needed in this space. Seriously, like, let's just call a spade a spade. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.
To this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please, why not share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. And I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.